First, the news out of Philly. 4 nights ago, Paul George had what was probably his best game of the season. Scored 32, had 9 threes and a win over the Bucks. And while his numbers overall are down, he is the Sixers' 3rd leading scorer, but now he's going to be sidelined till late March.
The NBA world is buzzing. Paul George, a 9-time All-Star, finds himself suspended for 25 games for violating the league's anti-drug policy. But the way he framed it, around mental health, recovery, and personal challenges, has everyone talking. Was this a genuine explanation or a signal flare highlighting the inconsistencies in NBA testing policies? Let's break this down.
Be at full strength, so hopefully he stays in peak tip-top condition through this time, comes back, and it's seamless. Regular season, I think they'll be fine.
The NBA world stopped in its tracks on January 31st, 2026. Paul George, a 9-time All-Star and cornerstone of the Philadelphia 76ers' Big Three, was hit with a 25-game suspension for violating the league's anti-drug program. Just days earlier, George had delivered one of the most electric performances of his Sixers career, dropping 32 points and knocking down 9 threes against the Portland Trail Blazers.
This is a highly unusual and stunning development, Ernie, for one of the league's really great players in the past and someone of his caliber. But Paul George told me today in a statement that this occurrence happened for Paul George with this test that led to a 25-game ban due to an improper medication for a mental health related issue, not a physical one. Paul George.
He looked unstoppable, moving with the same agility and explosiveness that had defined his Indiana Pacers and LA Clippers days. And then suddenly, it was gone. The league didn't reveal the exact substance, but the 25-game penalty put him in the category of serious infractions, enough to shake a team and dominate the headlines. For George, the timing couldn't have been worse. He was in his 2nd season with Philadelphia after signing a $212 million contract, a season that was supposed to be the one where the Sixers finally contended for a championship. Suddenly, all that momentum, chemistry, and expectation came crashing down. The suspension wasn't just about missing games, it was about lost opportunities, public scrutiny, and the way the league's policies intersect with the realities of superstar performance.
Fans say he's battling mental health. He's battling mental health. Though I know, didn't Paul George's mother been like battling cancer for like ever, right? I know, yes? Anybody?
Probably.
I'm not sure.
I can't.
No, I believe so. I believe so.
When George addressed the suspension, he framed it around mental health, recovery, and personal struggle. He didn't just admit a mistake, he tried to put the story in context, painting it as part of his broader effort to manage stress and maintain his performance under pressure. On the surface, it looked responsible. It was a measured, empathetic approach, a way to acknowledge fault while also highlighting an important conversation about mental well-being. But for many, it didn't land. Instead, it created tension.
When did you nickname mode? Pushing P, positive P, prescription P, performance-enhancing drugs P? Not sure if that's creative. Peptide P, like that one.
Fans and analysts wondered if this was deflection, an attempt to soften criticism while still avoiding full accountability. Mental health is real, and the league has been increasingly supportive of players seeking help, but suspensions exist to enforce rules consistently. Framing a violation through personal struggle triggered a larger debate about fairness and narrative control. Was this an honest explanation or a convenient shield to protect reputation and reduce backlash? For George, the statement may have been an effort to take the high road, but the backlash made it clear that in the NBA, perception is everything. How you tell your story can be just as powerful as the rules themselves, and George's approach forced the league, the media, and fans to grapple with a gray area between personal struggle and accountability. George's suspension exposed a problem the NBA has quietly wrestled with for years. Testing is inconsistent, and superstar status can create uneven consequences. The rules allow for multiple random tests each season, but the enforcement of those rules often depends on performance peaks, public attention, or sheer luck.
Oh wait! Turns out, all the jokesters on the internet are wrong. There's a very serious and good reason Paul George got popped. He told Shams, over the past few years, I've discussed the importance of mental health. And in the course of recently seeking treatment for an issue of my own, I made the mistake of taking an improper medication. But I take full responsibility for my actions and apologize.
When a veteran star dominates late in their career, scrutiny intensifies, and every exceptional performance risks raising eyebrows. Meanwhile, younger players or less prominent stars often face swift penalties for similar infractions, highlighting a disconnect between policy and practice. The public sees the punishment, the fans debate fairness, and the league's credibility is put to the test. This isn't about questioning George's skill or work ethic. It's about the structural imbalance that turns suspensions into statements not just about behavior, but about who controls the narrative.
Workouts before games, before practices. He's in there getting his treatment. He's getting workouts. He's in the weight room, which I heard that was an issue for him now. So he's getting in the weight room. He's taking things seriously. They might need a little more from him. I love Kelly Oubre coming back. I love VJ. I love what Maxey can do. It might be a little more. They might need to lean on him. So hoping that everything he's doing right now is preparing him to be able to give a little bit more. And also they have an opportunity to go out west.
One suspension can ripple through conversations about legacy, longevity, and even the GOAT debate, asking fans to reconcile what they see on the court with what they suspect off it. George's suspension didn't just shake the court, it shook the balance sheets. Losing $1.7 million in salary is huge for any player, but for the Sixers front office, it suddenly opened a strategic window. Before the suspension, the team was $7 million over the luxury tax threshold, a number that limited flexibility for trades or roster adjustments. With George sidelined and unpaid, that figure dropped dramatically, freeing cap space and creating a rare opportunity to maneuver before the February 5th trade deadline. In the NBA, money and strategy are inseparable from performance. Every suspension, injury, or contract clause is calculated, debated, and leveraged. What looks like misfortune for a star player can become a calculated advantage for the team.
Will now be sidelined through March 25th. He's going to be eligible for the last 10 games of the 76ers season. And in total, guys, this is going to cost Paul George almost $12 million.
The Sixers now had breathing room to make moves that could reshape the roster, all without paying luxury tax penalties. George's absence became a lens into the cold, business-driven side of professional basketball, where one player's misstep can alter an entire team's financial and competitive trajectory. Fans see the drama, but behind the scenes, ownership weighs risk and opportunity in ways most never consider. In this case, a suspension meant more than games missed. It reshaped the chessboard for the Sixers season. A suspension isn't just a gap in the schedule, it's a turning point for perception and legacy. George was already a 9-time All-Star with years of top-tier performance, but missing nearly a third of the season forces the league, media, and fans to recalibrate. Every stat, highlight, and clutch moment suddenly comes with an asterisk in conversations about career impact and influence. When a star struggles or is penalized, even briefly, it colors how we evaluate their longevity and overall contribution to the game. It also ignites comparisons to peers and rivals, reigniting debates about who dominates eras or defines greatness.
Opportunity here for guys to step up, to get more cemented in their role, their comfort, for Joel to keep taking a leadership role with this team after a lot of absences. So this could end up, or they have to approach it as, how can this end up being a positive? Because he does come back with 10 games left in the season. If he stays in shape, he's been playing really well. Maybe this is some rest. Maybe he can ramp up, get ready to go. Those last 10 games can serve him really well going into the playoffs.
George's suspension highlights the tension between natural performance decline, personal accountability, and league enforcement. Fans and analysts are forced to weigh achievement against adherence to rules, and in doing so, broader questions emerge. How much does one suspension alter a career? Does the league treat every star equally, or do certain reputations provide invisible protection? The answers matter not just for the player in question, but for discussions about dynasties, Hall of Fame credentials, and the very narrative threads that fans use to crown the GOAT. In NBA storytelling, a suspension is more than a setback. It's a lens into fairness, influence, and legacy.
We watching the little layups, and then all of a sudden, you
boom, 360 windmill dunking. All right.
Come on, man.
But look,
Why not?
drug testing.
Why not?
Like,
Mental health. It's mental health.
Listen, I can tell you too.
Nigga 41 out there doing some other shit. Why we ain't testing him?
They do.
Spent $1 million on his body.
He do.
What's up with Paul? Paul can't do it, but he can?
No. You just can't get caught. That's the thing.
George's suspension put the NBA's anti-drug policies under a microscope, and suddenly the system that is supposed to enforce fairness looks fragile. Random testing is supposed to ensure accountability, but the reality shows inconsistencies in who gets caught and who gets overlooked. Performance spikes, media attention, and age can all influence scrutiny, turning enforcement into a subjective process. Fans and insiders are noticing patterns. Certain players face swift punishment for minor infractions, while others skate through seasons of peak dominance with no consequences. The inconsistency creates debate, fuels social media discussions, and pressures the league to justify its approach. For George, the suspension sparked conversations not just about him, but also about how the NBA regulates stars, maintains credibility, and balances entertainment with integrity. This isn't theory, it's a visible clash between expectation and reality, rules and reputation. One suspension can highlight systemic weaknesses, forcing everyone to confront whether the league's policies are applied equally or if superstardom provides a shield.
When you look at Philadelphia, they've been making a little move. Number 6 in the East right now, over 500. We pointed out the other day, they were never above 500 last year, haven't been below 500 this year.
As the NBA faces increasing scrutiny, every future infraction will be measured not just by its impact on the court, but by its place in a debate that questions fairness, accountability, and the legitimacy of its enforcement. By going public, George inadvertently ignited a league-wide conversation. The suspension exposed cracks in the NBA's enforcement system and forced scrutiny on how elite players are treated. It shifted the discussion from individual accountability to structural fairness, asking fans and insiders to consider whether some stars are held to higher or lower standards. Suddenly, every performance spike, injury return, and off-season regimen became part of the conversation. Analysts dissected patterns, fans debated inequities, and the media latched on to the tension between transparency and privilege. George's situation showed that a single suspension could ripple across narratives, influencing perceptions of other players and reshaping expectations for accountability. What was intended as a personal explanation became a lightning rod for systemic questions. How consistent are random tests? How much does reputation protect? And what does fairness really mean in a league built on entertainment, money, and legacy? In this sense, George didn't just lose games, he sparked a conversation the NBA can't ignore.
The full team when you're going into the postseason. It's unfortunate that this happened. But I just want to say that, they give us a booklet on what to do and what not to do. They give us a booklet. They also give you inside the booklet how long it takes to get rid of something. So, I don't want to elaborate what he was doing or what he was doing, but, stuff like this should not happen because they give you the booklet that said, don't take this, and this, the letter of the law. Do not take any of these things. And when you've been in the league this long, you know what it is. They test you 3 to 4 times a year.
The broader discussion now encompasses player treatment, policy enforcement, and the invisible rules that govern the sport, forcing the league and its audience to confront uncomfortable truths that exist behind the headlines. George's suspension doesn't exist in a vacuum. It reverberates through the most heated debates in basketball, the GOAT conversation. When a veteran star faces consequences while still performing at an elite level, it forces fans, analysts, and insiders to ask uncomfortable questions about longevity, dominance, and the rules that shape legacy. LeBron James, still playing at an elite level in his 20th-plus season, becomes the unavoidable focal point. The contrast is glaring. Some superstars face intense scrutiny, while others seemingly skate through controversies, their reputations shielding them from the full weight of enforcement. George's absence isn't just a gap in the Sixers' rotation, it's a spotlight on the league itself, exposing how perception, privilege, and narrative control influence who is celebrated and who is punished. Beyond the court, the suspension shifted the Sixers' strategy, opening luxury tax flexibility and trade opportunities that would have been otherwise impossible. But more importantly, it reignited a larger conversation about fairness, accountability, and reputation. Every incident now has the power to reshape legacies, challenge assumptions, and make fans wonder, in the NBA, is fairness ever truly possible?